Welcome to Point Blank. So now we have the big question. Should there be a law to prevent people below 18 years old for the amount of content they see on the internet? According to a survey in our country, about 20 to 30% of internet porn viewers are from the age group 12 to 17 years old. That is again, for example, you're 18 years old. Anything under that, you cannot vote, you cannot marry, or most of the cinema that comes out today, there are adult restrictions which are above 18 years old. You can't watch that. So many restrictions are there, but a child can go home, go online, switch on his computer, and there's so much unwanted content there. So the question we're going to be asked is, should there be a law? I'd like to ask Sujit Nair, sir, do you think there should be a law?
Only law will not find the answer, basically. Basically, there should be a law for good parenting. Because this age group needs parents first, not the laws. That's what I think.
So I think, what do you think? These stats, again, 12 to 17 years old is a very delicate stage for people growing up. This is where they're very curious and a lot of things affect them. So do you think there should be a law, or it would help, or do you agree with
I don't think that there should be a law, because no law can restrict any number of internet users. I mean, yes, even if you put up a law that below 18 years you cannot access certain number of websites, definitely a new website will come around. There will be a workaround from that law, which will enable those users to log on to these websites. I think, as he rightly said, it is more from the parenting perspective that parents need to educate their children. I mean, we have seen that in schools and colleges now, sex education is one of the primary subjects. If you can teach your children that, okay, this is what is supposed to be watched over the internet and this is not, then a child, I believe, would be more responsive to this, rather than putting up a law and simply stating that you cannot watch it. It's a child's nature to be inquisitive. I personally have one kid, he's just 1.5 years old, but even when there's a pen and I take it from him, he wants that pen back. Why does he do that? It is child's mentality. There is nothing that you can do to prevent it. He will again go for that pen. He will not say that, "No, I don't want it." He will go for it. Unless and until you tell him that, "No, this is not good, this will harm you in one way or the other," he will not listen to you. Hence, laws will not make much of a difference.
Dr. Mani, what Mr. Ramsey said, it is a child's mentality. What do you think it is that makes us such curious people, especially in that age group? Very curious, anything that comes about is very attractive, anything new. So what do you think is the reason for that?
See, basically childhood is a very exploratory age. Children are trying to explore different things, different opportunities, and it is a age of developing different competencies, skills. So that is what makes, like, he is learning, he is curious to learn new things in the environment, and that's why children are curious.
Alright, same question, we did another survey. The same question that I asked you, should there be a law restricting people below 18 years old to certain content on the internet? And according to the data, this is what we received. 66% of people that we surveyed said yes. And just a reminder, most of the surveys that were done were not targeted to a particular age group or a certain demographic. This was a very widely done survey. And again, part of it was done over the internet as well. So most of them said that yes, probably there should be a law or something that would restrict them to not view the certain content. So I'm sure none of you agree to that. How about you?
No, I have a bit of a radical approach to the whole problem. My approach view is that we need an international Anna Hazare to really stop the production of this kind of thing on the internet.
Right.
Why? The first question is, what we have to ask, why internet has been used to, has been allowed to use this kind of material to be broadcast. Why in US and in some of the Western countries it is not banned, it is very legally allowed to watch pornographic content. Why? And the internet was initially, it is a product of the military organization of the US. And it was subsequently used against the USSR. And the pornographic material which was used by USA against USSR was actually to affect the youth in a very adverse manner. And the same thing is continuing even today. So there has to be an international law to curb the production of this kind of material. You can't stop when you have an open internet in front of a child and the parents are busy in their own social lives. Will not the child be free to watch? Why child?
Right.
Even married people are doing this.
We just get back to that. We just watch a small video. This is what Mr. Justice Kose Patil had to say about it.
There are strict laws against corruption.
Right.
More laws, you become more corrupt. Each law, therefore you have to have that mindset. Yes, we don't want this. So, हो सकता है. For provided you have to
Follow.
make that mindset.
We'll end off with that note. We're going to take a short break. We'll get back in 5 seconds.
The internet is the greatest gift that anybody can get. In fact, to ban it for those under 18 would be very stupid. My suggestion would be that whoever uses the net must know where to use and abuse his powers through the internet. In fact, the greatest channel of communication today is not one-to-one communication, but Facebook. Banning the net should not be anything that we should be talking about. What we should be instead doing is regulating ourselves from using what we know is good for us and not good for us. In my opinion, an 18-year-old today knows where he stands. Give him the liberty, but tell him that he needs to put the full stop himself. Only then will he learn to be a reasonable and rational human being. If I am asked, should there be parental control on the internet? I will say yes and no. Yes, because, some sites are not meant for children to be viewed. Some sites are not required that those under 18 view them. At the same time, children under 18 lack in guidance. So, of course, there are some sites that parents must regulate. At the same time, a total regulatory mechanism by parents is not advocated for healthy development of any child and for him to understand the net.
Welcome to Point Blank. Sujit Nair used a lot of strong words. You agree with whatever he said?
Yeah, what Dinyas is very hypothetical and theoretical. When it comes to telling a child, look, here is where you have to stop, you think he is going to stop. She is going to stop. I go back to my contention that there should not be such material on the internet. And for that, I can provide you a solution. We can use the internet to fight against these internet, maladies. One of this is having an internet, petition against this. We can run a petition. Thousands and millions of people can run a petition against this industry. That's my suggestion.
Again, with you agree with whatever he said, that parental control shouldn't be that excessive that they start including in the children's privacy.
Absolutely. I personally believe that every child is entitled to his or her own privacy. And parents should not go to the level that they actually go into their mails and chats and Facebook profiles and check what is he doing. I mean, it ultimately comes from your upbringing. I mean, how parents are interacting with the children, how they are open, how much open they are with the children, and how they tell that, okay, this is how the world is, and this is a positive aspect of it, and this is a negative aspect of it. It ultimately boils down to that.
This is where we end our segment. Again, I'd like to conclude among what we all said. We all had different views, but I'd like to conclude to say, should there be a law? Should there be more stricter parental control? Whichever way it is, the bottom line is our children, future of our country should be safeguarded in whatever way possible. If it takes a law to do it, so be it. I'd like to thank all our panelists. I'd like to thank Mr. Sujit Roy, Mr. Jayaprakash Parkar, Mr. Amit Singh Thakur, and Dr. Himani. So until the next point blank, be safe. Thank you.